Okay, so yeah, one of the things I want to talk about was tilt too. Tilt, because I think a lot of people get this problem. Someone asked it in the Discord. Let me see if I can find the message. Someone asked this in the Discord. I give him a brief explanation from what I understand about tilt from the mental game of poker. Right here. Let me see. Let me see. I'll make this full screen. How do you deal with losing streaks? No matter how much I try my best to mentally reset and focus on my own game, it feels like an endless cycle of insane enemies and underwhelming teammates in my ranked games at Sam R. Right? And so I told him this is a brief explanation. It's called running bad. Right? I'll get into this more in detail because if I just read this and then go into words, it's not going to work. Okay, let me just go into straight detail. So, losing streak. Sounds like this dude is losing a lot of games, right? Loss. This is what's known as running bad, right? In the mental game of poker, within poker, there's like some, words that people have for like certain things that happen in the game. So one of the things is called variance. This is just like sometimes shit happens. You can have the better hand. You could have dual aces and someone wins by having like 3 2s or something, right? You can still have the better hand and still lose. This is known as variance. Running bad is when variance happens over and over and over and over again. You just keep on having bad games. You're running bad. It's not your fault. You keep on losing. It's running bad. So what I found out in that book is that, when you end up tilting because you're running bad, right? You keep on losing, whatever it is. You keep on dying. You're running bad. Variance happens individually, happens overall in a game, happens in a team environment. There's a lot of variance within this game. When you're running bad, that actually does not tilt you. Losing over and over does not tilt you. Running bad actually just brings to surface what actually has been tilting you. You're actually tilting because of another reason. You're not tilting because you're losing. And if you look at this message, right? You look at this message, because he says it. He says why. How do you deal with losing streaks? Mentally reset and focus on my game. It feels like an endless cycle of insane enemies and underwhelming teammates in my ranked games, right? He's not complaining about or he is complaining about the losses, but this is the reasoning. It feels like an endless cycle of insane enemies and underwhelming teammates in my ranked games. So you gotta dive into that. What are the types of tilt that they talk about in the book? There's entitlement tilt. There's revenge tilt. This has to do with other people. There is variance tilt, right? Where you're just losing because of variance. Fuck, I can't think of all the 5. Let's look it up. Let me look it up. 7 types of tilt. Here we go. Let's see which tilt he has. Entitlement tilt, mistake tilt. How could I do such a stupid mistake? Hate losing tilt. Oh my god, I can't win. Running bad tilt, right? Because you're just running bad. Injustice tilt. I think there's also revenge tilt. I think this might be a little bit different. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this is only 5 out of 7. Oh, right here. This is the actual 7. What the fuck? Age not found. You're fucking kidding me. So yeah, you have a case of running bad tilt, but running bad is like there's a element of some other type of tilt within it. So endless cycle of insane enemies and underwhelming teammates. This sounds like there's like an element of like luck, like you said, underwhelming teammates. Like I lucked out. I didn't get good teammates this game. So that could be like some sort of variance tilt where like, man, this is unlucky. Like I didn't get teammates. So like there's different ways to address each type of tilt, right? This is like, it seems like variance tilt. Endless cycle of insane enemies and underwhelming teammates. He's complaining about the RNG of the people he's playing against and the people he's playing with, right? You can't control that. So when it comes to variance tilt, you have to recognize that variance is a part of the game and you can only control your own actions, right? You can't control variance. Like you have to just learn to accept variance. You gotta learn to accept that you can even be in the best position and still lose. Simple could have an op in a 5v1 and still get one tap by a deagle. It happens. It just, shit happens. So like what you want to do, if you look right here, let me see, mental game of poker, there's a worksheet you can fill out. I've actually been filling out these worksheets here. There's an anger management one, right? Fuck out of here. Anger profile. Actually, I'll just show mine. You guys can see. I'm not afraid to show like why I get angry about shit, because I already talked about this anyways. This is the anger profile, right? First signs are becoming angry, corrective actions, injecting logic, what you want to do, anger level. You want to like fill this thing out and you can figure out like why you're getting angry, right? So a part of correcting your anger is to actually sit with the anger first, right? Address the emotion of being angry. Like you're actually pissed, go let that out, because you're not going to be able to change the logic that's running in your mind that's causing the anger if you're still angry, right? You lose cognitive functioning at high levels of emotion. So address the anger, right? Get the anger out. Next thing you want to do is figure out why you're getting angry. So this guy, it sounds like variance. He's like, man, I keep getting bad teammates and good enemies. It happens. Shit happens. You can't control that. That's a saying you can use to inject logic into why you're getting angry. Just be like, yeah, shit happens. You can say this why you're getting angry to kind of like curb the emotion. It doesn't entirely get rid of it. You actually do have to do some like emotional work of actually sitting with the anger and stuff like that. But injecting logic is like a good step towards that. Of just like a simple saying to tell yourself to like not get angry. So just like shit happens. That's a good saying to say to combat variance tilt, or even simple loses games. That's another good saying you could have for combating variance tilt. Simple loses games still. It probably has like a 50-something% win rate. Like even the best player in the world doesn't have a 100% win rate. You have to figure out like what exactly it is about the variance that gets you angry, dissect that, see what type of logic is running wrong in your brain, and then correct it. But you have to address the emotion first, then dive into the mental aspect of it, because you're not gonna be able to fix it if you're still too high emotion. And I'll give you an example, right? So this guy's talking about variance, running bad, right? Losing streak. I was getting really bad, and I was getting bad entitlement tilt. I had a similar thing where I just kept on losing, right? I was on a running bad streak, and I was getting really tilted because I'm like, I don't deserve to be losing. I practice more than these people. I don't deserve to fucking lose. And that's a sense of entitlement tilt. I felt entitled to a win. I had to recognize that I'm not entitled to a win. I'm not entitled to winning. One thing I had to learn, I got this from a Healthy Gamer. He talks about how to like accept losses. You have to realize that you're not entitled to the fruits of your actions. You're only entitled to your actions, right? I'm not entitled to getting a win. I'm only entitled to playing, and I'm only entitled to practicing. Whatever happens after that has nothing to do with me. It's out of my control. So if I just keep my focus on what I can control, then I don't get angry. That's what helped fix it for me, for my entitlement tilt. But you have a tilt with it, with variance, and other people have different types of tilt. It could be revenge tilt, whatever it is. Another example of this tilt too was revenge tilt. I had really bad revenge tilt where I get pissed if someone starts talking shit, bro. It really like rile me up, and I had to I had to do some like deep thinking of why I'm getting tilted with this, and it's because I think there were several things to it. One of the things was I associated shit talking and people talking shit to you with confrontation and like physical violence. I think that comes because my brother would always kick my ass when I was younger. So I think that's where I got that association. So I'd always get like really riled up. Like I noticed every time someone talk shit in game, I'd be like, they wouldn't say that shit in person, bro. Like they would not say that shit in person. And it's like, why am I even saying that? It's like, I'm saying that because I'm assuming these guys want to fight me. Like that's literally what would come out the first thing come in my head is like, these guys would not say that in person. So I assume they want to fight me. That was one reason why I get tilted when other people talk to me. And another thing too, I get tilted and I felt like I had to like prove something is I was scared that if I lost after someone talked shit, that meant that they were right. That was another thing that would really get me tilted. So it's like, now that they said something, now I have to prove them wrong. And it's like, I don't have to prove them wrong. And even if I lose after someone talks shit, that doesn't mean whatever they said was right. Those are like the two big things that like really got in my head when it came to revenge tilt and people talking shit. To be honest though, nothing is satisfying as shit talking rich. No, yeah, it is satisfying. No, that definitely is satisfying. But like, it's like low-key a gamble because if you talk shit back and then you lose, like you kind of just eat your words. So it's usually just best to like just ignore what they're saying. Like that's what I just figure. I'm like, I don't have to respond to them. Oh, that's the other thing. That's the other thing I realized too about my revenge tilt when people talk shit. I felt like I had to prove them wrong or I had to say something back or else I was a bitch. Like that was like a big like thing that was running through my mind. Whenever someone talks shit, I felt like I had to do something or else I would be a bitch if I didn't do it. That's why I just realized I'm like, I don't have to say anything back to them because I'm not a bitch to begin with. I'm not a bitch. Them talking shit does not equal confrontation or a fight. And if it did, I definitely could easily settle that, right? No issues. A lot of these people playing CS, fucking nerds, bro. And then the third thing is, yeah, if they talk shit and I still lose, that doesn't mean what they said was right. So those are like the big three things when it came for me and revenge tilt. So it's like, you got to figure out, like you can literally analyze your own tilt, bro. When you get tilted, that's fine. Everyone does get tilted, but you should analyze it after the game and really dive into like why am I getting tilted? Sit with it. Sit with the anger, process it, get it all out, and then actually sit with the tilt. Journal, write it all out. And if you write it all out, you can read back to what you said, and you can start pinpointing things like, dang, I said this. This probably means because of this. I've been doing this for the past like 2 months since I started reading this book. I've really been taking my time with this book. I want to get all the information down. And I don't tilt near as much. My mental longevity is so good in game now. Like I don't tilt near as much, and I don't tilt near as hard, and I don't tilt near as long after the game. I recover from tilt really quickly now. You can really analyze these things. And I'm glad this guy said this because I was going to say something about this actually today. See, this doesn't work out for you. You'd make a great psychologist. Oh, thanks, man. That's why I want to do like my goal is like I want to go pro. I want to ride that out for as long as possible in like my 30s because I'm gonna be the next Kerrigan, dude. I'm gonna be the next Kerrigan. And then after that, I want to be like a sports psychologist. I want to work with esports teams and be like a really good coach. That's my thing.